Alright, this video is going to be about the Antichrist stuff. So, I think I figured this out. The thing that's always kind of stuck in my mind about the Antichrist is, according to the biblical prophecies, the Antichrist brokers a peace deal between Israel and some other country for 7 years. And you think about that, and on its face, it's like, isn't that a good thing? Aren't we supposed to be striving for peace? Isn't that the right thing to do? And then it's like, oh, well, Jesus says that when he comes back, he's coming back with a sword. Don't think that he's coming here for peace, because he's going to kick ass when he comes back. And it's like, well, that doesn't make any damn sense either. You know, Jesus is supposed to be all about peace and love and harmony and all this stuff. And I think this is really the crux of the whole thing. It's not about peace. It's about sovereignty. It's about being able to choose for oneself. Now, what happens to Israel if Israel brokers a peace deal with some other country? It means that that other country has sovereignty over Israel, because now Israel is a vassal state subservient to whoever that country is. Maybe that will then, in turn, make Israel pissed off, and then they'll try to take the sovereignty of the country that brokered the peace deal and absorb that country underneath Israel. You know, and if you think about that, one of the two things is going to happen. Because if somebody does broker a peace deal between one country and another country, then either the country that, let's say it's the United States, to make this a little bit easier to, in this example. Let's say the United States, let's say the president, let's say Trump brokers a peace deal between Israel and Iran. So Trump says, you know what, Israel, I see you struggling. I agree with you guys. I think that you guys should reign supreme. I don't like Hezbollah. I don't like Iran. So therefore, we're going to go kick Iran's ass for you, Israel. Okay, now who's in charge? Trump or Israel? Now, if Trump really swings his dick around, then he could be like, well, you know what, Israel, you owe us because we saved your asses. And without us, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even be alive, Israel. You owe your life to me. I own you now. Or it could be the other way around. It could be Netanyahu being like, no, fuck you, Trump. You're our lapdog. You came to our rescue because you are owned by us. And without us, you don't have a purpose and you don't have anywhere to go. What about God? Don't you serve God? Well, then you must serve us because we're the elect people. You see how that works? One of the two things is going to happen, which means either the United States loses its sovereignty to Israel, which many people already argue that it has, or Israel loses its sovereignty to the United States, which, again, if you look at the situation geopolitically, it's starting to look like they are, because, you know, without the United States militarily backing up Israel, you know, they're probably going to be an internal war with the Middle East. They always have been. They've never had peace in Israel. There's never been peace in Israel. There's always been terrorist crap going on over there. Always. And so it's like, well then, you know, if Israel can't survive on its own because it's too bombastic and too disagreeable and too intolerant of everyone else except itself, well, and I'll give you an example. I don't just say this. Have you ever looked up the humanitarian aid of sorted by country? Iraq gave more humanitarian aid to other countries than Israel did. Israel gave less humanitarian aid to other countries than fucking Iraq. And you just think about that for a minute. Let that sink in. There's a reason that I dislike Israel, okay? Now, and there's a reason that a lot of people don't like Netanyahu. There's a reason that the United Nations leaders just walked the fuck out on Netanyahu. When was that? A couple months ago, a few months ago? He's up there on the podium, he's trying to do his stupid little thing. Before he says a fucking word, half the room walks out on him. And it's like, damn, dude. I've never seen that before. I've never seen any country so unpopular that they don't even get a voice at the UN. And the UN just leaves them there. Fuck you, Israel. We don't want to listen to your shit. So that, I think, is the answer there. It's about sovereignty. It's about being able to choose for oneself, determine for oneself where one is going to go. And that sovereignty can be taken militarily, just through oppression and coercion and violence, yes, but it can also be taken the other way with, soft, what do they call that? Soft power moves, manipulation, bribery, sneaky little deals on the back end. Stuff like that, blackmail even. Well, if you go and you do whatever it is that you want to do, and we don't like it, then we'll just release the dirt that we have on you out into the public. But until then, we'll keep it all nice and tidy for you over here, and no one has to know that you like to fuck little girls, or you like to cheat on your wife, or both at the same time, or whatever it is that you do that we're keeping, under wraps over here. Those types of soft power moves are still just as threatening to someone's sovereignty as threatening them with a nuclear warhead or a fist or a gun. You can also threaten them with a pussy. It's the same threat, it's just coming at you from a different angle. But it's the same threat to sovereignty. So it's like, well, shit. Maybe that's what Christ is going to come back for. He's not going to come back, like I always thought Christ was going to come back because of evil, because of too much, well, I guess that is evil, is to take away someone's sovereignty. What am I saying? But I always thought that Christ was going to come back because there was too many people committing adultery, or too many people, having sex with kids, or too many people fighting each other in the fucking streets, or stealing during riots or something like that. I thought maybe that's what it would be, to bring Christ back. But I don't think it is. I think what's going to bring Christ back is the threats to sovereign nations. Because if a nation doesn't even have sovereignty, how can the individuals within it have sovereignty? Imagine that the United States loses its sovereignty to any other country, doesn't matter which one. How are any of the people that live inside the geographic boundaries of the United States going to retain their sovereignty against their own government, who itself does not have sovereignty and is owned and beholden to some other country? They wouldn't be able to do it, because they'd be going against not only their own country, their host country, but they'd be going against the country that owns them. So now they're going against two countries, at the very least. And it could be even worse if there's an alliance of other countries that subsume the sovereignty of the United States. Let's say it's the EU. Well, now you're going against Germany, France, Spain, all the rest of them. All of them at the same time, plus the United States. You're never going to be free, you see? So I think that's what's going to bring Christ back. It's the fact that he has to not settle the score. He has to balance the scales so that everybody can have sovereignty. And it's sovereignty, freedom of choice, that matters the most. So I was thinking about this in the shower, just like, well, what if I end up being like a super powerful, guy that's into a bunch of politics and stuff, and I succeed initially, and I get my land, and I get my country, and I get my sovereignty, and I win my own freedom, and I set other people free too, and then what happens? Well, Israel starts looking around. Other countries start looking around, and they go, hey, you know what? You helped all these people. Why don't you help us too? And then I was imagining sitting on the podium and being like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not giving you any help there, Israel. I'm not going to do it. Not out of my own principles, not out of my own, heart chakra vibrating at a certain frequency. No, just fear of biblical prophecy alone. And I imagined myself sitting up there on the podium and saying, I don't know everything. And the day that I think that I do, I am fucked. I'm not going there. I'm not going to sign this 7-year peace treaty with you, Israel, because I don't want to be the guy that ends up triggering the biblical prophecies. I don't want to be the Antichrist. I don't want to be on the wrong side of God's verily, verily. You don't ever want to be on the wrong side of God saying verily, verily to you. So you guys do whatever you do over there. It's not my business. It's not my place to sit over here and dictate to you whether or not you're going to be free. That's up to you and God. And I suggest you pray to God while you still can, because I am not it. I'm not God. I am not here to save you. You pray to God for your salvation. You pray to God for your sovereignty and your freedom, not me. So that's when it hit me. It was like, wait a minute, actually that makes a lot of sense, because if I took away their sovereignty by freeing them, they're not really then free. It's a paradox. If I set them free, they can't be free without me. So then they won't have freedom. They'll just have me. So now, the reason that doesn't apply to my own country is because my own country is so fucking cream puff and lenient, liberal, so liberal that it's like, you know what? I don't even care if you killed a kid. You can still always choose exile. I won't even make you stay here to finish your sentence. I'm not even going to take away your sovereignty in order for you to labor for the sovereignty that you stole from someone else. I won't even hold that to your feet. And because of that, my country won't ever go under, because it's not ever going to take away someone else's sovereignty. So I'm golden there. But if I then overextend myself and say I'm going to do that for other countries too, I'm going to take away those countries and replace them with my own political bent, my own cream puffery, and I force them to, adopt my views. Well, then they're just another vassal nation of my country, at which point they don't have any sovereignty, at which point it's a snowball effect, and I end up taking away everyone's sovereignty, and now everybody is all part of my system. And then, paradoxically, I can't set anyone free because there's nowhere for them to go. There's nowhere else for them to live. And then what happens? Well, people start to wake up and realize that, oh my God, we're all living under a giant totalitarian regime, cream puff as it may be. It's still a totalitarian government. It's still monopolizing every single country on earth, belongs to that one system. Now we have no more choices. We have nowhere to go. All we can do is just live under this one system that has absorbed every single scrap of land there is. Every country belongs to this one system. So I'm going to just avoid all that. And I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to say everything that I need to say in order to get people to realize that I am not the Christ. Do not follow me. Do not pray to me. I like to watch lesbian incest porn. I watched it last night. I watched a daughter eat out her own mom's pussy, and I loved it, and I've been loving it for years. So I can't be the Christ. There you go. You're all free. If anybody ever finds this, just realize that I set you free by watching lesbian incest porn. And you can do it too. Join us. It's fun on a bun for everyone under the sun. So don't pray to me. I'm not Christ. I'm not the Christ. All I can do is show you some political interesting things and some economically interesting things. But I cannot extend into spirituality. That's God's realm. That's Christ's realm. Only Christ can show us the way there. So I implore all of you, anybody who is listening to this right now that wants to praise me and think that I'm, Mr. God and I'm, the son of God or the son of the devil, I implore you, watch Dragon Ball Z and you will find that there's a pattern in there too. And here's my biblical prophecy, because I'm going to give you the Bible of Dragon Ball Z. And what happens in Dragon Ball Z? You wait for Goku. You do not pull a Vegeta and try to one man take over the entire system kind of thing. Don't do that. I tried to do that. I went to hell for it. And I will never go back there. God willing. Hopefully, I will never go back there. So the moment that that cast that first stone, well, you like to watch lesbian incest porn, you're a fucking evil son of a bitch, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? You cast the first stone. Read your own Bible, okay? And I'm going to watch Dragon Ball Z and wait for Goku. Son Goku! We have to wait for Son Goku. And I, with my Krillin ass, am going to sit over here and bang my android girlfriend and wait for Goku. And hopefully Goku brought some sensu beans and we can all have enough energy to watch Goku one man this into success. And by the way, in case you didn't catch the reference, Son Goku is Christ, and I am Krillin, and I like to bang Android 18, and somehow create a child. Although that was I don't really know how that worked its way in there, but there you go, and that's what I'm gonna do. So there. Oh, I'm gonna get kicked off of YouTube now. Maybe that's what's necessary.